Hi there guys, this is Richard Gale here. I thought I'd do a quick video just to kind of talk about some of these lenses that have been put together over the weekend. Primarily I'm going to be talking about the Nikon mount lenses. Obviously some people maybe aren't familiar with what is available. Obviously an EF mount lens is pretty self-explanatory. It will work on a Canon camera. What's quite special about the Nikon mount is that it allows users the ability to take advantage of the look of these kind of classic M42 Russian lenses on their Nikon mount, in particular the Helios 44, of which the flare factory is based. Without the complete removal of the M42 thread and replacement with a hard-mounted Nikon mount, it's not physically possible to obtain infinity focus with M42 lenses using a kind of traditional, say, M42 to Nikon mount adapter. You can get them. Let's have a look if I've got something. Well, this is say this is an EF to M42 adapter. That's basic. That will work. But assuming this was an M42 to Nikon, it won't allow infinity capability without the use of an additional optic which corrects for the inability to obtain infinity. Unfortunately, the optics that are used in those type of adapters are pretty low quality, and they seriously impact on the image quality from what is a really good optical design. You know, really good. Hence why the Helios 44 was chosen as the donor lens for the flare factory system. So complete removal of the M42 thread and the hard mounting of a nice solid metal Nikon mount with integrated rubber pads which prevent any wobble while focusing now allows Nikon users to make use of the Helios 44, which is considered one of the nicest vintage lenses available. Now obviously this is a flare factory, and it's had some of the optical qualities degraded in order to obtain maybe slightly more lo-fi looks than a standard Helios 44. But though this is an EF mount, this is actually an optically clean Helios 44. I've started to name them the Classic 58. I've actually touched upon this in a previous video, but pretty much the Classic 58 is an optically clean flare factory. So the benefits are the complete removal or complete disassembly and reassembly, new lubrication, uprated. Some of the mechanical parts within the lens are uprated just to give you a little bit of a smoother, more solid focus mechanism. But assuming you went for a Classic 58 with the Nikon mount, that allows the user of a Nikon camera, or say a Nikon speed booster adapter, or anything utilizing the Nikon mount, to obtain the look, the unobstructed look, which is a really good look from the Helios 44, or in this case the flare factory. With this one here, you probably can't see it, but it's equipped with a 1.5 times oval rated at f2.8. It's a variable aperture. That was this is actually a clean optic with a 2x aperture in. So pretty much the only changes that have happened optically is the variable aperture has been removed from this lens to be replaced with a hard mounted 2x oval aperture at around f3.5. The aperture speeds of the ovals are conservatively rated, and as I've said in the past, say a 2x oval at f3.5 will be as shallow as a wide open f2 circular aperture in terms of depth of field, due to the fact that the oval is the same height as the original f2 aperture wide open circular aperture. You actually gain a sharpening because the aperture width is halved, so you gain a quality in the same way as you do from closing an aperture down on a lens. You obtain better sharpness. So yeah, the Nikon mount, or the Nikon remount, will also work on EF mount cameras with a cost-effective ring adapter. I don't have one to hand, but that will actually adapt the Nikon mount lens and allow you to use this on an EF mount camera. So assuming you do shoot cross-platform, maybe Nikon for stills, Canon for video, or probably Nikon for video now. The Canon DSLR kind of quality seems to have hit a standstill, and they seem to be basing most of what they're doing video wise in their cinema EOS line. But yeah, so assuming you were using multiple different camera systems, say a Nikon and a Canon mount system, the Nikon mount is a good choice because you can obviously adapt it in the same way that you can adapt proper Nikon lenses and use them on Canon cameras. As you can see, the rear optical cell has been machined down to limit the possibility of any obstruction of the mirror mechanism. One of the other main benefits of going for the Nikon mount, assuming you're a Nikon camera user, obviously up until this modification was available, you were unable to make use of the Helios 44 with lenses like the Iskorama, or now the FM module, or the focus module by Anamorphic Shop. They've recently unveiled a focusing system which allows you to single focus traditionally dual focus anamorphic systems. Now, the main criteria for that to work is that you need a taking lens that can get to infinity, and traditionally M42 lenses like the Helios 44 they won't hit infinity on a Nikon camera. Opting for, say, a classic 58 in Nikon mount, or a Flare Factory 58 in Nikon mount, Iskorama optimized, which comes with the coupling tube, as you can see, to allow direct coupling of the Iskorama. This is actually a PL mount, but assuming you went for that with the Nikon mount on there and clean optics inside the unit, you'll actually have a Helios 44 that is absolutely perfect for use on a Nikon camera with the Iskorama. And in my personal opinion, the Helios 44 happens to be one of the best matches for the Iskorama and the Iskorama 36, as well as the Iskorama 42 and the 54. Most of you know about the EF mount. That's pretty basic. It just works. The thing about the Nikon mount is it's marginally more expensive due to the fact that there is more time involved in doing the complete remount. but it's definitely a good option to have, assuming you do work cross platforms, or maybe Nikon is something that you don't want to lose, because Nikon cameras tend to be at the forefront of quality in terms of image quality. I know that the D810 or 810 and the new 36 megapixel camera is pretty much top of the game at the moment. So yeah, it's kind of the ability to use these lenses on high-end Nikon cameras is a good thing. Obviously these lenses aren't designed to deliver 36 megapixels onto a full frame sensor. So a lot of what you're going to be capturing is going to be false detail, but the detail that you have is very, very, very nice. And say downscaling a 36 megapixel image down to say 18 megapixels, which these lenses will just about deliver, particularly a 2x oval aperture, that will sharpen things up drastically and give you very, very high levels of quality onto a full frame sensor right to the edges. So say shooting on the D810 in 36 megapixels and then downscaling to 18 megapixels, you're obviously oversampling in terms of color information at the 36 megapixel point, and then you can obviously work in post-production at 36 megapixel, then downscale to 18, and you've still got a large beautiful image that doesn't look forced in the same way as if you were, say, forceful on an originally 18 megapixel image. But yeah, overall Nikon Mount is a good choice, and one that is definitely something that people should consider if they're looking to work across platforms. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful.